What's up, speeders? Welcome back to Speed Creek TV. I'm Hafiz, and today we're having a slightly different review because we're not driving a sports car or a fast EV or a powerful SUV. We're gonna drive this, the VW ID Bus. This is actually a really interesting car. I love driving it and I love the way it looks. The front fascia is really nice. I think it looks cool, and it kind of looks like a face. It's like the eyes, it has a nose, it has the mouth right here. It looks like it's smiling. And it makes you smile when driving this as well. We'll talk more about that later. Again, love the front fascia, love how the bumper sticks out, love the diamond pattern grille right here. You have a big VW logo. What else about the car? The wheels are 20 inches, they're quite massive. There is a white silver wheel, which I think looks better, but the black one is not so bad. Electric doors. So on the long wheelbase version, the doors are electric. The windows open in a funky way. We'll show you later. Moving towards the back, there's some accents here. The rear of the car actually looks like the multivan in the UK. So it kind of looks like a van, but it still looks quite good. There's also some animations in the light when you turn on the car. And of course, the luggage space is massive. Obviously, if you have the third row down, it's really big. There's a separator here, but even with the third rows up, it's still pretty huge. I'll have the numbers here, down here. Sorry, bit of a slow brain day. You can also take this out if you want. You can take this out so you can have a bit more space if you need it. If you're camping, I guess this could be a headboard of sorts. It has a hydraulic strut on it, so you do need a bit of force to put it down. And then, if I'm not mistaken, down here, oh wait, no. Oh, okay. It doesn't have a tow, this one. It doesn't have a tow hitch, but if this car is equipped with a tow hitch, you can tow up to a ton. So, I don't think a lot of people tow here in Indonesia, but there you go. And that's about it. It's electric. We'll take a look at the inside now. Inside is your typical modern car layout. You have a digital driver display right here. It's a little small, but I guess it does the job. Steering wheel, there are some physical buttons, but mostly it's haptic touch sensitive. Not great, but it does the job as well. Gear, you change the gear with the stock right here. You have a 12.9-inch infotainment system. The system is actually pretty good these days and very responsive. And you have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and they are all wireless. There are quite a lot of interesting things in this car. Oh, but first, the seats are a blend of leather, sweat, and fabric, which are really cool. Then you have the center console, which you can remove. You can put it in the back, or you can take it out of the car if you like. So very modular in here. You have a lot of storage, some storage right here. There's a couple of cup holders here. And when you open this cup holder, you can use the storage behind it as well. What else is there? Harman Kardon speakers. I think it's a 12 speaker system, which are really great, by the way. The bass is punchy, the audio is really clear. It's one of the best audio systems I've ever tested in a car. Not the best, but it's right up there. What else is there? Oh, USB-C chargers. You have a lot of USB-C chargers. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 in the front and another 4 in the back. So a total of 8 USB-C chargers. That's actually pretty impressive. You also have a wireless charger right here for your phone. But I probably wouldn't use this because it's really tight. It's a small space, and as far as I can tell, it doesn't have any ventilation, so your phone will get really hot. Another really cool feature in this car is the panoramic sunroof. It's massive. You don't get a cover for it. However, because it's electrochromic, you can blur it out. So if it gets a little hot, it's too bright, you can blur it out. Or if you want a bit of sunlight in, you can turn it off. It's really cool. At the back, as you expect, it's very spacious. This is the long wheelbase version after all. Loads of leg room, loads of headroom, and even if you put the second row seats to its most front point, it's still really spacious. Lots of leg room. The windows, they don't slide down, they slide over here instead. A bit weird, not sure why VW did that, but I'm glad they did. It's a bit quirky, a bit fun, a bit different. You got individual air vents. The seats are captain seats. However, in other markets, there is an option for 3 seats instead. However, of course, in Indonesia, we just love our captain seats. Overall, the rear interior is really nice, really spacious. There are 2 seats at the back as well, and they are actually really spacious as well. VW claims it's the largest, most spacious third row of any car in the industry except for commercial cars. Now, admittedly, in this car, you don't get a lot of toys in the back. I think if you want something that feels a little more typical luxury, or you want a more familiar sense of luxury, the Toyota Alphard is just gonna be the better option. Maybe even the Chinese, like the BYD and the Xpengs, like those might feel a little more luxurious than this. I'm not saying that this is a bad interior, but in those cars, the captain seats are just a little bigger, a little wider, a little more comfortable, and you get a massive screen in the Chinese cars. It just feels more, you know, it's what you expect from a luxury car. In this car, I'm not saying it's not luxurious, it's just a little different, I suppose. And that's the thing, in this car I think you need to get the interior in white, because that would make the interior feel a bit more lively, a little more refreshing, if you will, a little more spacious, a little more airy. I think that would be the better option, even though maintaining a white interior would be difficult. Nevertheless, this is a great interior, and I have been enjoying my time so much in this car, and I've been enjoying driving it, so let's drive it some more. The driving experience is, well, it's like driving a van. What did you expect? For example, the windscreen and the front hood stretches so far ahead of you that they are in a different time zone. If you're not used to driving a car like this, if you're not used to driving minivans, it's gonna take some time getting used to. However, that being said, the driving position is actually really great. You sit up high, you have great visibility, the A-pillars are massive, you don't really have any blind spots in this car, so that's really nice. The ride is also really comfortable, actually. I've been driving this a lot, and honestly, there haven't been any road surface that upsets the car. It's just really comfortable, and it's relaxing, and you can drive this car for hours. Definitely great for road trips. But surprisingly, the handling of this car is also actually really quite good. I mean, it's no BRZ, it's not 911 for sure, but it feels confident, it feels robust, it feels planted. You could feel the body roll, you could still feel that this is a really tall car. But somehow, I think VW has done a great job in making this pleasant to handle. You know, if you want to maneuver a bit at high speeds, it will do that. If you want to corner a bit quickly, you could do that as well. The car just feels, it's quite hard to explain. I mean, it's not a great handling car, obviously, it's not fun, but it's confident is what it is. It's confident, it's planted, it's robust. When it comes to power, this long wheelbase rear-wheel drive version has 286 horsepower with 560 Newton meters of torque. And it's actually pretty good. Oh yeah. And you actually have different modes. So that was comfort, and now let's go into sport. And this makes the steering a bit heavier and the throttle response, you know, more responsive. Oh yeah. Oh. This car will do 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 7.9 seconds. That's only half a second slower than a Mini Cooper 1.5. In any case, this is plenty of power. There is a more powerful version that we don't get here in Indonesia with around like 325 horsepower. But really, this is plenty, and it's effortless. It just it's more than enough to keep up with traffic, you know, especially Indonesian traffic. You know, on the highway you can still go pretty fast, and the top speed is about 160 kilometers an hour. Not that you will probably reach that very often, but you know, it's good to know that this car can do that. Downsides, of course, there are some. First of all, the battery is 86 kilowatt hours, which isn't bad, but because this is tall and it has the same aerodynamics properties of a fridge, the range is officially about 468, 487, I know, I forgot. I'll have it here somewhere. Anyway, it's about 460, 480 Realistically, that's gonna be more like 400, maybe 450 if you're careful. But honestly, after driving this for a few days, it seems that to us, the range is gonna be more like 350. I mean, obviously, we've been driving quite a bit quickly, and if you're careful, you could probably reach 400. And in any case, it's fine. That's enough range for a day-to-day basis if you're driving in town. If you want to have a road trip though, then you're gonna have to plan your charging stops quite carefully, because 350, 400 kilometers it's nice, it's good, but you might want to be careful when you're going on a road trip, especially if you're going from like Jakarta to Central Java or East Java. Then you might want to be, you might want to be a bit careful. You might want to plan your trips carefully. Other complaints, a minor one, is the side mirrors. I think they're a little small. They could be a bit bigger, I believe. And turning radius also isn't great. It's fine if you're careful, if you know what you're doing, you won't get stuck. But I do believe that this car would benefit from a rear wheel steering system. And finally, this isn't really a downside, but I feel like I have to address this, is the wheelbase of the car. So the car is actually a little shorter than the Toyota Alphard, but the wheelbase is about 23 centimeters longer, which is a lot. Now, the problem with that is sometimes when you're parking, the car could stick out and protrude outside of the parking space. So just keep that in mind. It's not really a big deal when you go to like a modern big mall in Jakarta, but sometimes at older buildings, it might be, the parking spaces there might be a little too tight for this car. It also won't be a problem if you live at a landed house. Parking spaces are usually quite big anyway. But if you live in an apartment, then maybe your parking garage may not fit this car. So, I mean, it will fit, but it will stick out usually. And yeah, just keep that in mind. Again, might be a downside for you, maybe not, but just keep that in mind. A couple more notes about the driving. The ID Buzz has adaptive cruise control and it is excellent, and it will brake on its own in stop-start traffic. Speaking of the brakes, they feel soft and spongy. This is because when you initially press the brake, it engages the regen motors instead of the calipers. It will then engage the calipers if you press hard enough, but it's spongy, it's soft, and it's just really weird. You will get used to it, but we often just use the regen mode because it feels a little more natural for this car. Now, on to the price. Now let's talk money. This car will set you back 1.5 billion rupiah on the road Jakarta. Now that's a little bit more expensive than the base Toyota Alphard, but it's still cheaper than the hybrid version. And it's a little bit more expensive than the Chinese, like the Denzas and the Xpengs, but no surprises there. However, the upside that this car has over those Japanese and Chinese minivans is the community, or at least the potential for a community. Now, as far as we're aware, there are no ID Buzz community just yet. However, there are a bunch of other VW communities that you can join. If you don't want to join those VW communities, you can probably be a trailblazer and start your own ID Buzz community, because the Chinese and the Japanese cars, they're really just a mode of transport. This car is different, it's unique, it's refreshing, it's something that people can be really passionate about. And that's the center of any good car community. You need something to be, you're really passionate about, and then you want to meet new people, network with new people who share the same passion as you do. So the final question is always, should you buy this car or should you buy its rivals? With this car, it's pretty straightforward. If you have a chauffeur and you're going to be a passenger most of the time, you're probably going to want something that's a bit more on the luxurious side, something like a Toyota Alphard, a Denza, or an Xpeng. However, if you want to drive it and you want something unique, something that will stand out, something that people will ask about, something that maybe your kids will love as well, this is definitely the way to go. It's a great looking car, and it's memorable, and it's actually surprisingly really nice to drive. Which is a really nice surprise, because I didn't think I would like driving a minivan, but honestly, with the ID Buzz, I love it. I want to drive it some more. So, bye. Thank you, speeders. See you on the next one.